Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the 9 exact steps that you need to take to source private label products in China. So whether you want to sell them on Amazon or you were in dropshipping and now you want to do your private label thing, you want to get your logo on your packaging and kind of make it your brand. Today we're going to be talking about how do you do this. So this video is not about finding dropshipping suppliers or finding or do the branding for dropshipping, because the process that we go through today is really for bulk orders, okay? Because I see a lot of people make mistakes here. I see a lot of people get angry with Chinese suppliers and say, oh, I ordered a sample and it took forever until the sample came, and then the sample was here and it looked like crap, and then I went for another one, right? And that's kind of the typical story that you hear. The reason why I can talk about this is that I've been in China since 2013. And I actually own a sourcing company here where we help private label sellers source products. So I hope that in this video you get a lot of value from it, that you like it, that you can follow the steps, and eventually if you want to outsource that, you'll think about me. So let's get into that, the 9 steps. The very first step. Step number 1 is to make sure that you know what you want and set the right expectations. And it sounds a bit like, of course I know what I want to source, right? But you'll be surprised how many times we'll have clients that want to source one product, and then we start sourcing the product, and we're like, okay, here are your quotes, here's a sample, boom, here you go. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's great, but I changed my mind, I want to source something else. Like, that's not, you need to be clear what you want, okay? So you need to make your research, you need to resist changing your mind. Because I know that it's very tempting that you start with something and then you see another product down the line, you're like, oh man, that product is cooler. Man, that product looks better in Jungle Scout. Man, that product has a better whatever it is. And you make up all these potential things. But the truth is that will never stop. Okay, so just choose your niche, choose your customer that you want to sell to, choose your product, stick with it, go with it. Setting the expectation comes in where when you source something in China, then it's a very different process than going into Walmart and picking a product off the shelf and taking it home. It's a very different process. So you will run into issues. You will get mad with suppliers. You will have misunderstandings and miscommunications. And that's just how things work. And that's just how it is. But that's fine, because a lot of people overcome that. There are a lot of people already selling. All your competitors that are already in the marketplace, they all overcame that. And you know that you can be better than your competition. That's why you go into that after all, right? If you know you're better, well, you can still do it, okay? I believe in you, you can do it, but you need to have the right expectations, because if you know what's going to happen, then it's all right to deal with it. Then you're not surprised, and then that's okay. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is getting quotations, including all the changes that you want to do, okay? So, and you do that from multiple suppliers. The number 1 thing, I know I said that already, so let's say the number 2 thing that I see, that the second biggest mistake that I see is people going and only communicating with one supplier. So usually how that works is you go on Alibaba, you find like, oh, this is the supplier that I want to work with, so let me get a quote and ask for a sample. Like, this is how most people work. But the problem with that is that you ask them for the sample, you ask them for the quote, and it's like, okay, the prices look all right, now let me get a sample, my logo needs to be in this on this spot, it needs to be engraved, it needs to have this color, the box needs to be like this, and you send them this whole spec sheet of stuff. They say, sure, we do it. You pay them the sample, they send it to you, and it looks like crap. And they're like, oh man, that supplier screwed up, so let me go to the next supplier. And the same thing happens. And you're like, oh, that supplier also screwed up. I'm not sure how anyone can do this. You go to the third one, and every one of them will screw something up, right? But the problem is that instead of changing all of the suppliers, you're just doing the wrong steps, because that process takes you a month of going back and forth with suppliers, and that's what you see everyone complain about in the Facebook groups. You just need to follow the right steps. Okay, so step number 2, get quotes including the changes, meaning you go and say, okay, I want to source this glass, and I want this glass to be in a red box, and I want this glass to have my logo engraved on it, right? That are the quotes that you're getting. So you contact multiple suppliers. You filter Alibaba if you want to do it yourself. You filter Alibaba and you go through all of these different kind of suppliers. You might contact 100 of them, and you just contact them, send them a message, say, hey, this is what I want, please quote me the glass, logo, packaging, shipping, whatever you need, right? Then you wait for that feedback from all of those suppliers. You look at the quotes, and that's your first filter. Okay, the very first filter here is just to see, okay, where do the numbers seem like they make sense? Where do the numbers seem like they work out, right? If you see the numbers work out and you can make that work, you can actually earn a profit selling that at the market price, then you move on. If you see that doesn't make sense, well, then you don't even go further, right? But if the numbers make sense, you filter that down, you see, okay, these are the suppliers that I have a good gut feeling about, that came back with answers straight away, that didn't ask many stupid questions, that were actually good to work with, where the English is good, we can actually communicate with them, and that should be your whole focus. Like, what is the best gut feeling? Who can you communicate well with? Don't worry about one supplier is 10% more expensive than the other. Like, all of that doesn't matter. It really depends on, like, who can you really work with well and start a relationship, okay? That's what you want to focus on. Then in step 3, you get a shipping quote with that as well. Okay, so now that you have the quotations, you drill that down. You say, okay, out of the 100 people I contacted, these are the 20, and I'm just making those numbers up. How much ever work you want to put in, you do it, right? So you then choose those 20 and you look at those suppliers and you ask them for a rough estimate on shipping costs on your volume. Say, okay, I want to buy 1,000 units. Please quote me or give me a rough idea. What's the shipping going to be? Give me a pro forma invoice on that. What's the shipping going to be if I sea ship it to the UK DDP? Okay, that's what you want to know. Because you need to have the estimate to go further, because that eats in your budget. So you need to know that this is possible. You don't need the exact thing, you don't need anything like that, but you need the dimensions of the product, you need the weight, you need the volume, so that you can get the right shipping quotes just directly from that supplier. Don't worry about the best shipping price yet, just get a rough idea, okay? That's step number 3. Step number 4. Step number 4 is getting simple samples. And here's another mistake. Now that you ask for the prices with your logo on it, you ask for the prices with the changes, you ask for the prices with the color box and your logo and all of that stuff. The sample that you're getting, though, has none of that. The sample that you're getting is just the simple glass. The reason why we're getting a sample here is just to understand what's the quality like. So now that you know the numbers, you know the supplier gives you a good impression and you can communicate well, the next thing that you need to know is, can they actually deliver the quality that you need? That's all you need to know here, right? And in order to do that, what you don't want to do, okay, this is what you do not want to do. You do not want to go to your favorite one supplier and ask for that one sample with your changes, with the logo packaging, That's what you don't want to do, because what's going to happen is they're going to screw it up, they send it to you, it doesn't look good, you're like, oh man, go to the next supplier. That doesn't look good, you go to the next supplier. And you're wasting a lot of time. So what you want to do, here's what you want to do, okay? What you want to do is you filter down those 20 and maybe you go with 5. And you go to 5 of these people and say, hey, please send me a simple sample that you have just laying on the shelf. They don't need to produce that. They don't need to do anything fancy with it. It's going to be a lot cheaper and it's just something that they have available anyway, so it's really quick. And you just get 5 samples. And I said, man, Niels, like I'm kind of doing this on a budget. 5 samples seems like a lot of money. There's a video on this channel, you can actually find it in the description here below, on how you save money on the samples, and one of the ways is to just bundle it together and have it sent to you. But for all the details, just have a look into that in the description. Now, once you have all those samples, what you do with that is you look at the samples and you compare them. So you put them next to the prices and you look at, okay, these are the numbers, this is the quality. And you just compare all of them and then you pick your favorite. Okay, you say, okay, these 2, the quality is crap. These 3, the quality is all right, but this and like I can better work with number 1. Number 2 is the cheapest one, and number 3 one has the best lead time, right? So you make up what's most important to you. That's the supplier you want to go with. Then in step number 5, that's where you pick the winner to customize, and you order a sample that is customized. Customized meaning it has your logo, it has the packaging that you need, it has all of the changes that you want to do to it with your private, that you want a private label, right? Or that you want an OEM, if you want to be technical. With that one supplier, because you already know the quality is good, you get the sample. Now for the sample, the way that you want to communicate that is you don't want to go and say, okay, I need it to be red, I need to have the logo on it, and I need the packaging to be in that shape and whatever it is. You want to say, okay, I need to have my logo engraved on it. Can you confirm? Okay, here's how I want to have my logo on it. Make sure they understand. You understand? Yes. Can you show me an example of this? Here's an example. Good. Now also what you need to do is the glass need to be, I don't know, you need to have the packaging in red color. Boom, 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 boom. You go step by step by step. if you ask them too many questions at the same time, and meaning too many means more than one, you're not going to have a result that you want. Okay, so you ask one question at a time and you make sure that they understand it. And then you're going to get a sample that probably something screwed up. Your logo's upside down, red turned out to be pink, shit happens, okay? That's how things in China work. Everyone wants the great prices, everyone bitches about how the process is. I understand that. However, this is just something you need to set your expectations right. This is something you need to go through, right? Once you have those samples, you have the sample, doesn't look good, logo is upside down, you go back to the supplier, please change that. They send you another one, they send you the third one. Eventually it looks good, okay? And at that point, that's step number 6, is to confirm that sample quality. So you go back and forth, you get a couple of those samples, you confirm the quality. And in the end of this video, we're gonna recap all of those, okay? Step number 7 is an order agreement and placing your order. Before you place an order, you want to have a proper agreement with that supplier. And if you want to know what exactly needs to be in that agreement, there's also a link below here in the description. I just did an interview with my project manager that we're working together in my sourcing company. We just did an interview and she went into detail in that interview what needs to be in the agreement. So make sure to check that snippet out in the description below. Order agreement, placing the order. You pay an upfront fee. You pay a 30% upfront. They start production. Once the production is done, we go into step number 8, which is a quality control. You do not want to ship your products before you know they're good. You don't want to pay the rest of your products before you know they're good. You need to have the leverage, okay? So especially if you're shipping things directly into the Amazon FBA warehouse, there are so many horror stories where something went wrong, where the labeling isn't done correctly, where like lots of suppliers have never shipped to Amazon. They don't know what kind of labeling needs to be on. They don't know what kind of stickers, the barcodes, any of that kind of stuff. They don't know about this. They might mess up the packaging dimensions. They might mess up the dimension of the outer box where they put all the things together, right? Because you need to have very specific dimensions for shipping it, because Amazon does not accept. They don't accept certain dimensions, okay? So make sure that they do it well. And for that reason, you want to have a quality control. You want to have a third party. There's a company they used to call Asia Inspection. Now they're called something else. But if you look for Asia Inspection, you're going to find them. You just hire them. They visit your supplier. They have a look at your product. They give you a proper report. You look at the report and you say, oh, okay, looks good. Only then are you sending 70% of the payment to your supplier, the remaining money, and then they can ship it. Okay, and then we go to step number 9, which is shipping. So right about the time where you do the quality control, you arrange the shipping. You can either have the factory do that. If it's a factory, usually you will deal with trading companies, but you will have to arrange shipping. They can arrange it, you arrange it, and what you want to do here is you want to have a door-to-door shipment. Okay, the term is called DDP, Deliveries Duty Paid. That means you only pay one price up front, and that's the price. Everything else is covered. If you do not go with that DDP, if you choose any other term, you'll pay for the shipping, and then later you will have surprise bills that come rolling in for the import taxes, for custom duties, for unloading, offloading. There are all kinds of hidden fees in that. So you want to have the DDP quote for shipping. You arrange the shipping, you have your agent arrange shipping, or you have the manufacturer arrange shipping, you ship the products, and you're done. Okay, so these are your 9 steps. Let's recap that real quick. Step number 1, make sure that you know what you want to buy and that you get your expectations right. Step number 2, get quotes including your customizations, logo, color, all that kind of stuff. Then get a rough shipping quote, step number 3, so that you understand the numbers. Step number 4, you get a simple sample from 3 to 5 suppliers. Simple. No customization, no logos, no nothing. Okay, very simple. Then you pick a winner in step number 5 that you want to go with, that you want to customize. Then you customize it in step number 6. So you go back and forth with the supplier. It goes, put the logo on, send me the sample, do the color right, send me the sample. You confirm it. We call it the golden sample, okay? In step number 7, you make an order agreement. That needs to be proper so that you're safe, they're safe, everything is on paper, agreed to how the quality needs to look like, shipping terms, etc., etc. Then you do a quality control before you pay 70% of your net payment in step number 8, and then you ship your products. I hope you like this. If you did like it, or if now you look at it, it's like, well, Niels, that's kind of work. Can you do it? Yes. There's a link below in the description where you can either reach me on the phone or via email, or any ways you want to contact us. There are links in the description. We can source the product for you. We have a service that's a complete done for you service where we do the whole thing, all of those steps. We can do that for you, and because we usually work only with manufacturers, the prices that we get you are a lot better, so that the service fee that you pay us is usually swallowed by the savings that you do. So usually you don't pay any more money, yet you don't have to do anything yourself because we do it, okay? So if that sounds appealing to you, just head over in the description. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, turn on that little bell so that you get notified. We do a lot of videos here on how you can actually make more money online with your e-commerce products. But also we have a lot of sourcing expertise that we're sharing throughout the videos in this channel. So I'll catch you tomorrow, and wish you a great day. Cheers.